Hi there, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our exciting content. Have you wondered what it takes to be a samurai? Well, you're going to get a look into the life and mind of one of the most legendary Japanese heroes. Today, we're looking at the life of Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest samurai and swordsman who embodied his philosophy of self-control. But what was it about the lone samurai that sets him apart? Many warriors have flourished throughout history, but of all of these swordsmen, Miyamoto Musashi is by far the most well-known and fascinating one for aficionados around the world. He was born in Japan in 1584, amid a period of great upheaval, and became a master of both the sword and the written word. His impeccable record helped him become well known for his unique dual sword fighting style. And in addition to being an excellent swordsman, Musashi was a philosopher, an artist, and a seeker of the truth. At just 13 years old, he was exhibiting superb swordsmanship that helped him become a legendary figure in ancient Japan. He is the creator of the Nito Ryu or Hyoho Niten Ichi Ryu, which is the two-sword style of swordsmanship, as well as the author of Gorin no Sho. People from all walks of life, including martial artists to business executives, still turn to his Book of Five Rings, a book on strategy, tactics, and practical philosophy. That's because instead of concentrating on just technical proficiency and execution, Musashi stressed the way of strategy, which involves developing the best plan of action to repel an opposing attack after taking a broad view of the struggle. He taught his pupils on how to foresee an adversary's next move and counter it. Musashi, who practiced Zen but was not outwardly religious, advocated that a person's character and mental fortitude were the keys to winning a battle. He also invented the method of holding the long sword in one hand as opposed to two, and often used this method in battle, while holding a short sword in his other hand. Musashi trained to build his physical stamina as a swordsman. Although his initial goal was simply to become a proficient swordsman, he gradually came to see that the tactical ideas and philosophy he had discovered were applicable to various stages of human life. He often put his theories to the test in actual life or death sword fights, and by consistently coming out on top, he proved the viability of his ideology. You see, Musashi was born during a period of rapid change in Japan. As the previous reigning Ashikaga shogunate began to wane and eventually collapse in 1573, the nation erupted in feudal conflicts. Fueled by his thirst for swordsmanship, Musashi started exploring Japan at the age of 21 in order to battle among the most powerful warriors and experience the samurai spirit. He was referred to as a ronin, or a samurai without a master, and he showed he didn't need one either. He was said to have engaged in and won more than 60 life-or-death encounters with other skilled and seasoned samurai warriors by the age of 29. Miyamoto Musashi was highly sought after and welcomed as a military strategist and swordsman by several Japanese clans after turning 30. And so, he participated in the Battle of Sekigahara, the Battle of Osaka, and the Shimabara Rebellion, three major wars in Japanese history. On the other hand, Musashi was a passionate artist. He's produced masterpieces, done calligraphy, Zen brush paintings, and wooden sculptures from the same hands that'd strike fear in any opponent. The Dokudo, which translates to the Path of Loneliness, along with the Book of Five Rings, were two of his best-known works that are highly regarded to this day. As for his philosophy, his self-improvement plan was refreshingly simple: practice restraint. Musashi had a profound appreciation for the fact that self-improvement extended beyond the physical realm. He believed that the path to mastery included the use of the mind, body, and spirit. His lessons resonate with those who aspire to go past their limitations and realize their true potential. The legendary samurai realized that true development requires constant dedication to practice and skill improvement. You can find that in his writings, as its pages place a strong emphasis on the value of daily practice and repetition, because only through focused practice can one truly master a skill. Musashi also believed in the power of simplicity. He pushed for a simple style of warfare, doing away with pointless gestures and maneuvers. He understood that concentrating on the important things while avoiding distractions is necessary for success. Having said that, his steadfast spirit and unstoppable will is what serves as the most important lessons for us. He saw setbacks and failures as opportunities for improvement, rather than as something to be feared. After all, adversity helps us to unlock our potential and find our inner strength. In other words, progress requires failure. Those who have never experienced failure have never really faced their own weaknesses. Musashi also adhered to Stoic principles and shared wisdom by saying things like, "Get beyond love and grief, exist for the good of man," inspiring people to discover their calling. It's crucial to remember that Musashi's advice on developing oneself goes beyond the world of samurai. He's imparted timeless knowledge that can be applied to all aspects of our daily life. As a samurai who traveled the country on lone quests, Musashi polished his abilities through battles. And hey, even when using a wooden blade called a bokken, as Musashi typically did, duels in pre-modern Japan were serious affairs and often proved fatal. But because he lived by the Bushido warrior ethic, which prioritized honor and glory over life, Musashi didn't care about dying. He spent years going around Japan and engaging in duels with various people to develop his fighting techniques and establish his name. But it was his final match against Sasaki Kojirō, which was his most significant one. Swordsman Sasaki Kojirō belonged to the Hosokawa clan, which ruled over Kokura in northern Kyushu, Japan. Kojirō was renowned for using the Tsubame Gaeshi method, which translates to turning the sword with the speed of a swallow. He was also known for his long sword, which was called the drying pole, and well known throughout Japan as the demon of the western provinces. Why? Well, because Kojirō was said to have never lost a duel. He was a prideful guy who used a long sword and battled in a formal outfit. But Musashi was determined to beat the expert swordsman from the inside out. In the end, Musashi killed his mighty opponent with a bokken he had fashioned from an oar. The fight was quick and intense, and regarded as a remarkable performance by any samurai or swordsman standards. Even though Musashi's late arrival to the fight is still a subject of controversy. Some of Sasaki's angered followers found it to be dishonorable and insulting, while others believed it to be a legitimate strategy for playing mind games with his opponent. Another belief is that Musashi timed his arrival to coincide with the tide's turning. By the time the battle was through, the tide had already changed after carrying him to the island. And after his victory, Musashi slipped back into his boat, using the incoming tide to his advantage as he escaped Sasaki's enraged allies. In the end, Miyamoto Musashi was able to stake his claim to being the best swordsman in Japan after defeating Kojirō. In fact, it was after his dueling days were over that he rose to the position of greatest samurai. It's said that Musashi was heartbroken by Kojirō's death and experienced something similar to a spiritual awakening. He didn't fight after that. Instead, he adopted Zen Buddhism and went on to become a martial arts instructor. That's also when he took up calligraphy, writing, and painting, along with practicing non-martial disciplines. In fact, it was when he turned into a scholar, artist, and master of self-control that he evolved into the ultimate samurai. It took him 2 years to complete the Book of Five Rings. People believe that he may have finished it in time because he sensed his impending death in 1643. He wrote The Way of Walking Alone, a collection of 21 rules for discipline, in May 1645, while also giving gifts to his disciples, and on May 19, 1645, he passed away. Most of Musashi's philosophy is timeless. Following his principles and school of thought, we are able to unleash our own potential and set out on a journey of constant growth and self-discovery. Through his life, he cultivated discipline, accepted simplicity, and fostered resilience. As the lone samurai and the greatest swordsman of all time, Miyamoto Musashi's life and principles help ignite a flame of motivation and self-improvement within us all. Let us know in the comments below what your biggest lesson is from the life of Miyamoto Musashi, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.